Futures Trader Elite here with your NQ pre-market prep on 10/6. When we get started here, let's start with this. I want to pull this 5-minute chart up real quick for those that are up early and might catch some moves in pre-market. I have this zone here that I put in early in the morning, I think back on 10/3. So to the upside right now, excuse me, because of what we're doing in pre-market early this morning, I would be looking at this 170 to 176 zone for rejection for first reaction, and then possibly, of course, maybe breaking it, retesting it, and then going for that all-time high right there. Although it looks like we might have something going on here this morning, so we might need to trade this here, see what happens while we're live in pre-market. I'm going to go on and set one order right here just to see how this might react. I really wasn't expecting to be trading in pre-market, but since we're going over it, we'll see if it works out. We've had a really nice drive since the market opened last night. You know, if we can get us a quick scalp out of this to start pre-market out, that'd be a good way to start Monday. We're going to go on. Let's see, I'm going to put a stop in at wow. Well, just like that, we got within a point and a half, and it already sucked back down 20 points. So we're going to cancel that out. I don't want to play that now, because what we're looking for is first the initial reaction to the zone, and we got way too close for that to pull back for me to get in it now. If you can't catch it on that first round, then you need to adjust your game plan. Now it's more, let's see if it's going to break through this zone, maybe come to the top, bounce around, and then try to take out that all-time high. I really hate that we missed that on pre-market, but sometimes that's how it goes, I guess. So let's take that off. That to the upside, that's really all I'm looking at the moment, is that play right there. Let's pull this chart up. This is we'll throw a sim account in here. And what that zone was 170 to 176 or so, but then I got all this on this 1 hour or 15-minute chart. We got this line here, this yellow line. We're going to throw in an order right there. Okay, so while we're going over pre-market, we'll test this theory if we get filled. So what we're going to be looking at today, to the upside, I expect to see some rejection right here. This whole zone box up here has 2 yellow lines in it, plus that other zone we just went over on the 5-minute chart. I would expect a rejection here, but the way they drove this up overnight, you know, what do you expect? Maybe another all-time high today. Why not, right? But I'm more concerned with all the action we could have to the downside. You can see this is a 1-hour trend line. Sometimes when you go to another time frame, you have to adjust them, but this is a 1 hour. We'll adjust a little bit for the 15. This, see, we broke through this pivot, made this drive, nice little drive off that, breaking that 1 hour line. This is a 1 hour line as well. We're getting kind of tight here with these 1 hour trend lines until this just broke. So question is do we get the rejection up top? And if so, what are we looking at to the downside? For me, looking to the downside, I'm going to be interested first for this to retest this trend line and then see if it wants to break it or we'll put this order in just above this all-time high. And you know, if we can come back and break this 1 hour trend line, the zone to the downside that I'm first going to be watching is going to be 120 to about 110 in that area. And then under that, I got two different zones here. We got that one, and then we have this other yellow zone, and it's down at 105, the bottom of it. So let's say this were to come back this way, chop around, and we get back under that line. I'd be looking at a key play on this 1 hour trend line, maybe for a bounce, because this is a pretty strong move overnight. You see it's going our way. We're going to move this stop down to protect what we have got so far. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. No, now I'm long. So I didn't mean to adjust that. Well, it looks like it wasn't a bad idea to do that, but I'm going to go ahead and, well, I'm going to put a stop in right here. We'll see if it can jump up the top of that zone box. Already up about $300 in that sim account. This right here is exactly how I'd be trading an eval or a funded account. You know, quick scalps in and out, and try to lock in at around $300 and try to rotate to the next one. I know sometimes I get a lot more than that on some trades, but the key is to stay consistent with them base hits. But anyhow, let's get back to what we're really doing here. That zone there, 120 to 110, and then we got this box is 104 at the bottom. Be looking for this touch of this trend line, especially in pre-market if it comes back down here. We're going to put an order in up here because it might get up to that high. We want to short the first reaction of that. Below that trend line, below this 1 hour trend line, there's a lot of zones here. So it really depends on when this happens. If it's at the open of the market, instead of probably looking at this first box here, I'm going to be looking at this blue box, which is 51 to about 5,007. I'm really going to be looking there because our golden pivot is in the center of that. So say we get over here and that golden pivot is at 33. I'm going to be thinking, you know, if at the open, if they make that pullback, I'm going to be looking at that zone if it breaks this 1 hour trend line. It's going to be an interesting week. We got some news this week. I think jobs numbers comes out sometime this week. I don't think CPI and stuff is until next week, and PPI, but we got that pivot, and then we got this this is about a 4 hour trend line or a daily. This one down here, we need to adjust it to touch that wick, because you need to have them on them wicks, because if this is, let's say, down here, that could adjust where you put your orders by several points. And even when I got mine smashed to the wick the way they're supposed to be, and sometimes I put my orders too tight to the trend line, say, it'll come down there and not even, it'll look like it tagged the first one, or maybe even two of them, but never filled, and then go the complete opposite way. I posted some screenshots of that last week in Discord in the live updates channel, because sometimes that's how it happens, and you don't really just want to chase it because it didn't fill you right there. You want to come up with a different game plan. That way you have a entry and a exit strategy put together, instead of, oh man, it didn't fill my order, so I'm going to chase this. That's always a bad plan. That's when your emotions get involved. If it don't fill and you start chasing, that's 100% emotions. That's not logical. To the downside, once more, if we break this pivot point at 33, I'll be looking at this major trend line that's got this red line in it. That red line is at 11. So, and then we got this yellow line right here at 28 that's just under that pivot point. this would be a really strong area. If this could open up, and they pull this back, we're going to be over here. This is around opening. If we get into this area and this pivot will be over here by this trend line, 4-hour trend line. Then we got this yellow line, which was a previous all-time high at one point. They still work as magnets. This is high confluence of a bounce right here in this area. Yes, especially after the market opens, because we'll have the volume there. If we got there with some speed, there'd be no reason to be risking at least one contract for, I would think, a 50-point bounce or better right here. If that's how it plays out. You just never know. If they decide they want to take this market down, they could just pierce through all that all the way down through this with a big drop. And if they do, I'm going to be looking at this box here, which is 927 to 913. And I have enough belief in this zone here that if we were to pull back that far, we're going to get a bounce. You see stuff like that time and time again. We had this huge drop, this drive. Both of these wicked out from the top of this box, which tells me if it does get down here to this zone, which is 927, I will start placing my orders at about 935 probably, or maybe even 945, because what you might see here is still going to be a higher low on a higher time frame. See, this may not get to this box, but it may get within 10 points or 20 points of the top of that box, and then do this, suck them candles back up. So that's something you'd have to watch for. I will update that in the Discord if we ever get to that point today, if that plays out, because if it's moving a certain kind of way, it may or may not cancel the trade out. But this is definitely worth watching if they pull it back. All these are worth watching. I'll try to keep them updated as quick as possible in the Discord, because there are a lot of plays that could play out on the chart today. We just need to see how they react when the market opens and kind of see what they want to do. I don't want to get too far down in any of this, but I mean, these are all zones that need to be filled. The blue zones are zones that need to be filled. That's imbalance in the chart. So I think that's all I got for this morning on the NQ Premarket Prep. I hope everybody has a good start to their trading week. If you're first time seeing this, smash that like and subscribe. That way you get notified on YouTube when they hit. Come join us for free in the Discord and get some live updates as the day is unfolding. And I will see you guys on a recap today. Stay elite out there. Stay smart.